bars. We had a couple people signed up for drop bars. Sean do I have any other single speeders besides Sean?
Maybe.
Drew. All right, 2 single speeders there, Sean and Drew. Go! Go, have fun, be safe.
All right, welcome back. It is another race put on by the Spinistry. This one's sponsored by Insurance for Texans. This is the Spinistry Beaver Fever at Nob Hills. And so we've got 2 guys up in front of me right now. We just hit the start. That's David Knight, the Night Rider, who's also on YouTube. Great guy. He just took a little spill in that corner. Conditions were a little gravelly, a little loose, not too bad. That's Cesar Gutierrez right in front of me. And he will be the eventual winner of this race today. So I'm playing with a few new things at the moment on this video. We've got a couple of data metrics that have been overlaid. My heart rate up in the top left-hand corner, cadence below that. I don't know why it's showing the pace per mile, but it is. I did go on in this race to pick up first place in the single speed category. It was good for 4th place overall. Although there was a couple mishaps later on with the marking that really kind of made it extremely confusing. So like I said earlier, Caesar up in front of me here at the moment, he does go on to end up in first place overall. I finished 2 laps of Nob Hills. It was 24.98 miles, something like that, in 2 hours, pretty much right on the dot. So the other 2 guys in front of him, or in front of me and between me and Caesar, I don't know that I ever saw them. And that's probably my fault, but Nob Hills is a trail that I'm really not familiar with, and so I'm out there relying completely on the markings that are on the trail. If it's not marked appropriately, I am kind of blind as a bat. So I'm just out there having a good day. It's beautiful weather yet again. 2 weeks in a row that I've done a Spinistry event. The week prior, which I just put up a video on, that was the Red River Riot out in Munster, Texas. And it was just beautiful weather that day. Great race. I picked up 18th in the 65 mile. Today is 4th place overall. I am the only person on a single speed. We did have one other start, Drew Tucker, also a part of Big Pig Racing. But Drew had, I'm not sure if it was a mechanical issue or what happened with him. He ended up DNFing on that race. So I was the only single speeder out for the day, took first in the single speed category, obviously. Makes it really easy if you show up and you're the only one to win first place. So I had the gearing that I chose for this race. In my opinion, I think I probably should have gone a little bit bigger. I went with a 34-18 on this bike. I have a Chumba Stella set up single speed with a Fox 34 on the front and running some Maxxis Ardent tires. So the 34-18 was probably a little bit too spinny. So Nob Hills, and again, I'm not familiar with it, really is pretty flat, fast, and open. There's one section at the end. Actually, I take that back. There was 2 sections because there's the Goat Killer climb, and there's also whatever that rocky area is, and I don't remember the name of it. But those 2 areas, they were a little bit more challenging. It was more difficult to hold any kind of momentum. They had some really sharp corners, but all of this area in here, I mean, it's just flying. So fast, wide open. That corner right back there just about ate it. It was a little bit more steep, and it was a drop off and not a roller. So that was a surprise to me. So back to the gearing. Yeah, I think a 34-18. I probably could have gone up to a 34-17 and run a just a 2 gear. What is it? A 2.0 for gear ratio. That would be a big gear, but there's a lot of places in here where I'm holding 90 plus RPM, and then there's any of the big flat open sections, which is where I end up losing Caesar here in a little bit. And I was on one of those big flat open sections. I'm spinning at about 115 RPM. I could probably go a little bit higher, but is it worth it to really burn out the legs spinning that fast? I decided it wasn't worth that, and so I just kind of got a little bit more comfortable at about 110 to 115 RPM and spun it out. So these guys, they're walking their dogs. The trail is open to other traffic. It's not closed to a race. I think every trail in DFW is like that, where you do not have the opportunity to close it. So, it is what it is. It's the same way for Ray Porter Memorial. It's the same way for, I think, just about any race except for Timbra when they go to Big Cedar, because it's on private property with the church at Mountain Creek Parkway. The DFW series races, so we do close a portion of the trail. We don't close the entire trail to the outside traffic, but we do close our race loop to outside traffic, or at least it's supposed to be. Obviously, people just duck under the tape. We see it every week. But we really try to avoid that. We do make it pretty clear that, hey, this section of the trail is off limits or it's closed, but it just really isn't an option here for Knob Hills. And I think Kevin and the Spinistry, Kevin and Dave, they did a really great job of putting this thing together. There's a marking mishap that comes up in just a little bit, but other than that, it was really good. This is one of those big open sections where I'm spinning at 115 RPM. And I just, there's nothing else I can really do. If I bumped it up, I wouldn't really increase the speed any more than what I'm already doing. So just being patient is probably the best bet.
Yeah, let me go by. Hey, thank you.
Picked up this OA guy behind me, and I think he may be one of the two that finished in between myself and Caesar, but I don't know him. So we're gonna, watch him take off in front of us because he's on gears and I'm stuck at this 115 RPM and motoring as fast as I can. Going into a couple corners up here, this is where we've got a turn that I don't know if it was marked incorrectly or if somebody came back after Kevin and Dave had marked the trail. I don't have the full story on that. But I know for a fact that it was marked the opposite direction, and when we get to that, I'll point it out. I think it's right up here. We're gonna go up this little hump, up another one, and then we're gonna hit the turn that was marked incorrectly. So here it is. We're supposed to go right here. Obviously that arrow is pointing left, and I took a picture that's inserted down here that you can see is how it's supposed to be and how it was actually marked correctly later. But at this point in the race, again, I don't know the trail. I've got 2 arrows that point this direction, although one of them's backwards. In the moment, 160 beats per minute on my heart rate. I'm just looking at these arrows both point this direction, I take off. So the OA guy, you saw him stopped back there, confused as well. We both should have gone right. We went left instead. He tails me. We're going backwards on the single track at the moment, actually. So thankfully, there weren't any other riders out this morning, and we didn't end up going headfirst into somebody else. But that's really the only mishap that was had on the day. Other than that, just being confused about, you know, which way we're supposed to be going. And I don't know if that was, you know, just a turn that was marked wrong by the Spinistry, or if it was somebody who went back behind them and changed it. I know that the section that skipped was pretty deep in some water. I mean, it was completely flooded. There was standing water about 2 to 3 inches deep, is my guess, in that section. So my guess is one of the trail stewards probably came out, closed that section, and we were supposed to have ended up on it. Trying not to say I'm really self-conscious about that now that I'm doing these videos. I think the data overlay is a really cool tool. It is a huge pain in the butt to actually pull off, though. To give you an idea of what it takes to do this data overlay, so I have a GoPro Hero 8, and I have to I have to take the video, put it into a software that's from Garmin Verb, which was the action camera that Garmin came out with many years ago. They had a software for it where you could overlay the GPS telemetrics data, so that being, you know, your heart rate, cadence, the map, all of that information. You can overlay that on top of the video, or it records everything all together. So my GoPro does not record telemetric data, so I have to take the GPX file from my Garmin head unit and plug it in through this software from Garmin Verb. On that Verb software, because Verb is no longer a product that is on the market anymore, so it's the software itself has been unsupported since I think 2020, maybe 2017. It's been a number of years, and I had to actually go in there and change the registry codes on the program itself, because it's trying to call, I think it was Internet Explorer 7, to show the map, so you can, you know, line up where the GPS data starts with the actual video, and you have to update it. You have to go in and change the registry codes to update it to point to IE11, Internet Explorer 11. Something I've never done before, but I figured it out. But from there, I have to take it and then, you know, overlay all the data, put all these cool numbers and widgets on the screen, export that video, which takes probably an hour or more. I had to wait while it exported this video, and this is 40 minutes long. And then I have to go plug it back in to Adobe Premiere Pro, which is what I use to do most of my video editing. And that's to do these little overlays with, like, the Spinistry logo, my bike that you saw a minute ago, the podium picture, a bunch of that stuff. I could probably do some portion of that the first run through, but it wouldn't look how I want it to, and so I put it through this again. It also has, of course, you know, this background music that we've got. So I don't know. It's a huge pain in the butt. I'm just kind of toying with it at the moment. I would really love to do more of these videos, especially for each race of the DFW Summer Series. You know, we're going into our 10th year of the DFW Summer Series. Super excited about that, man. I just cannot believe that we've been putting these races together for 10 years now. That's pretty amazing. And you know, the fact that we are not losing money on these adventures. They're all profitable, not by a ton, but they do stay profitable, which means we keep getting to expand and make the production even better and better. One of the best things that we've been able to do is partner with North Texas NICA at Irwin Park and have them do the MC and DJ duties out there. That just adds so much life and excitement to what we do out there at Irwin Park. I would love to have somebody like that at Gateway, but this is our first year. You know, we are just getting off the ground with this brand new project, and we had 94 people signed up the first week and 121 the second week. Just phenomenal turnout. I'm stunned
Sorry.
by how many people have signed up for that. And I'm really excited about, you know, where we go from here.
Sure.
Third week got rained out, but we had 74 people already pre-registered for that one.
Well, in that case, I can slow down.
So that little turn back there, that got really, it was really tight turn, very steep. I had trouble with that both laps. And my third lap that I did to go take that picture of the wrongly marked turn. Very steep section. There's some more of that coming up here before too long. I've got that OA guy sitting behind me again. I don't know the team name. I just know that their jersey says OA. I wonder what that means. So if anybody knows what OA means and what that team is all about, educate. Because I have seen them around for a number of years. There's that cheater line, the easy line right there on the right side. I didn't take it though. I will give my friend L. Jacob this. If you haven't subscribed to his YouTube channel at 1096 Cycling, definitely recommend you do so because he does some great crit videos, road crits. He had made a comment that road biking is easier to do this commenting for, like commentating. I don't know the right word there. But he said it's easier for that because there's a lot more action, and I totally agree. Like, I think with mountain biking, you know, there's not as much to really talk about other than your plans and preparations and kind of what else is going on there. You know, during a road crit, you've got attacks going up the road every couple seconds. I don't know, lots to talk about over there on a mountain bike race, especially one that only had maybe 12 to 15 people start the race at all. Just not a whole lot of action to really talk about and get into. But, you know, I think a successful mountain bike race in most cases is normally going to end up like a time trial, a personal best effort. Because there's really not as much drafting. There's not the pacing that you do with road riding and road racing. Mountain biking is a little bit different, and if you go out there, push too hard, you're going to blow yourself up trying to stick with somebody else. But if you go out there and hold, you know, your pace, which is what I roughly did for this 2-hour race here, you'll have a much better effort. So I think understanding where your limits are, knowing how to pace yourself on a mountain bike race comes in really handy. And obviously that's not as exciting to comment. Don't know the answer to that one. The angle on the GoPro is a little bit low, I feel like. I would like a little bit more of the horizon in there, but that's okay. This is another little bit of a steep climb, not too bad. At one point, I had the grade, you know, the elevation grade listed on the telemetrics data as well, but it looks like I've taken that one down. So on the nutrition and hydration front for this race, because it was only going to be 2 hours, I took 2 bottles. They were the larger 20-ounce bottles. One of them had a Noon tablet in it for electrolytes. The other one was just straight water. And then I think I had probably 1 Cliff Bar and a goo packet on me, and I don't think I used either one of them. Most of the riding that I do, and that includes a lot of Zwift racing, is early in the morning, and it's fasted, so I have not eaten anything at that time. So for me, you know, going into this 2 hours and not eating is not a big deal. I know I had some oatmeal, a bowl of oatmeal with maple spice, just in case you're wondering. I had some of that beforehand. And here again, like that, the GoPro angle here is really low. It would be nice to catch a little bit more of the horizon, a little bit less helmet. But I like having the helmet in there because it kind of gives you a reference point for what's going on and what you're seeing. If it's just the terrain in front of you, I think it really detracts from kind of seeing what's going on. Having that vantage point where you feel like you're a part of, you know, what's happening out there. So yeah, just future notes for myself. Try to get the angle on the GoPro to go up a little bit more. Oh, goodness gracious, 20 minutes in, and there's another 20 minutes left of video here. I might just speed some of this up or cut some parts afterwards in post-production. I don't know yet. There's another one of these vast sections, really open. Holding somewhere around 15 miles per hour. The data is not perfectly aligned with the video and the telemetric data. There was I put a screen hold in there earlier when we had that wrong turn. That got everything about maybe 5 or 6 seconds off. So I don't know exactly how fast I would be here, but I mean 15 miles per hour, and I'm guessing we're probably somewhere around 90, 95 RPM right here, pretty easily.
I'll go to the right of you.
Okay, sounds good to me.
This guy, the OA guy behind me, is looking to pass. And we thought we were going to get a quick pass right here, but it was a quick turn right back in.
Come on.
But I did pull over and let him jump past me here in a second.
Next corner, next corner.
Feel bad for the guy. I told him next corner, and it's been like 10 corners now, and he still hadn't passed me.
Supposed to go right back there. We never went through the ankle biter that they were talking about.
So that's where I figured out, hey, I took a wrong turn somewhere. Or I think he pointed it out to me. I didn't know the difference, but he pointed out, hey, we missed a turn back there somewhere. We didn't go through a section, and
arrows to the best of my ability.
I hadn't figured out. I didn't know the course again. I'm not familiar with Knob Hills, so I didn't know where. On the second lap through, I tried to be a lot more aware. Going through the timing tent, I talked to Kevin Lee and I said, "Hey, we missed a turn somewhere. I'm a mile short on my distance for lap number 1." And he said something about, was it blah 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 blah. I don't remember exactly, and I don't mean to say blah 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 about Kevin because that's not what I meant. That's not what he said, obviously. But he told me something, and I don't remember exactly what it was. Tried to describe the area. I'm terrible about, hearing a description of what a spot looks like and knowing. He just said that, remember, there was some logs stacked up there, and I was like, yes, probably. Well, I went through the second time, and it looked different. And so I was really confused at that point. And I took the wrong turn yet again, but I also noticed the signs backwards on that second lap. So we're coming up to this more technical section. Is it called the Punisher? Is that right? This is a really cool rocky section right here. I have to get off and push the bike because, again, single speed, you don't have the luxury of just switching into an easier gear. I know that little ledge right there is a ledge I could make, but I wadded it up. I'll make this climb. That's cool. Can't see what my heart rate is up there, but I bet it's up there, 170 plus.
Thank you. Several back.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to speed anything up on this video. I'm just going to YOLO it. I've already spent a bunch of time trying to get the telemetric data overlaid, and now obviously watching through this whole dang thing again to talk about it. And I'll probably have my mom, my grandmom, and Jacob there. Probably watch this video, so I don't, nobody's gonna end up watching this whole thing, I'm sure. So I guess looking back at things I did well, things I did poorly, and what I changed in the future. The start, I think I took really well. I could have been the first guy into the trail, and I held back, letting two guys go in front of me. That was a smart move, in my opinion, because I would definitely have been overcooking it. Ooh, I have to get off and walk here. The gearing, I think I probably could have done just a little bit better. Obviously, I'm going to walk sections like that, but if I can power through some of the less steep grades and get a little bit more top-end speed on the flat open sections, I think that would have been a good choice out here. Nutrition and hydration strategy ended up being really good. Ended up getting pretty warm that day too. It was like 80 degrees, 85 degrees maybe, whenever the race ended. Yet again, more of these big, flat, open fields. I really think a 34-17 would have been the gear choice to go with for this course. There would have been some places I really struggled, but I think there would have been enough places where that top end speed would have been of huge benefit. And the mile that I missed, it was all very flat, open, high speed. I could have railed it through that section. And so at 34-17, having a little bit of a bigger gear to push on that side would have been a great idea as well. It's about the only reason I'm really even still doing this commenting stuff, because I can't remember if I got the goat killer climb or not. Spoiler alert, I did not climb it. I got off my bike and walked up it, but I didn't go into it expecting to climb that one. I've done it before on Judgment Day and a gravel ride actually, and that was like, I remember looking at that going, nope, not a chance. Definitely not climbing that one.
Thank you. Got 2 more behind me, I think.
No, this was a really pretty area right here. I remember that. I wish I could have caught a little bit more of that on the horizon. But again, that's the GoPro angle. Lessons for the future.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I got a little unnerved by how many different cutoffs and spinistry arrows were seen in a row back there. That little straightaway, there was, I don't know, maybe 7 different spinistry arrows all across the just go back and rewatch that. There was a whole bunch of little cutoffs and spinistry arrows marking different directions, and I was just guessing. That was one area where I thought it was a little bit confusing, because I don't know the trail, so I was not sure which way to go other than just keep going straight if I was confused. There's like 5 minutes left here, holy moly. Anyway, just a huge thank you to Spinistry for putting this together. I really appreciate having local opportunities to race. So thank you, Dave. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you, Jan, for the Spinistry Chow. Thank you to Insurance for Texans and Ron Wadley for sponsoring Club Spinistry events, the mountain bike events for this calendar year. If you're not a Club Spinistry member already, it's the best value in North Texas cycling. For club members, you get early access to pretty much all of the events. You get free access, free entry into a whole bunch of different events. Like I've already gotten free entry for the Red River Riot, the Texas Chainring Massacre, the Spinistry Beaver Fever, which is this race here, the upcoming Paris Hell of the North Texas, all because of my Spinistry membership. It's not something special I get because I'm another promoter. It's not anything special whatsoever, other than that I'm a Club Spinistry member, and it's just loaded with value. So highly recommend, if you do not have a Club Spinistry membership and you enjoy mountain biking or gravel riding or just adventure riding, pretty much anything but road riding, well worth it. And if you know somebody who does not have a Club Spinistry membership, it'd be a great Christmas present, birthday present, whatever else kind of gift. But cannot say enough good things about what Kevin Lee and the Spinistry do here in our area. If it were not for them, I probably would never race a bicycle in real life. It would just be on Zwift. So I'm really thankful for them. It's what happens when you get into the race promotion side. You never get to be the actual racer anymore. Anytime that you're at an event, you're either volunteering or hosting or doing something on the production side and not doing, missed that turn, but not doing the race yourself. So I really appreciate the Spinistry and Kevin having that available. It used to be Dorba, but Dorba has kind of stepped away from hosting events. Or at least races. And I like to race because I'm hyper competitive. So yeah, great race for the Beaver Fever. First place single speed, fourth place overall. A whole bunch of nonsense in the talking here. That's it.